Hello, this is Bruce with Webicator. In this video, I'm going to show you a solution Megan Longoria came up with on her favorite BIDS helper features for SQL Server Analysis Service development. Megan agreed to let us create this video showing her solution, which is available as an article on her blog at the URL shown here. BIDS Helper is a free add-on for Visual Studio that you can download from Codeplex. You can find more information about downloading the add-on from Megan's blog. The BIDS Helper add-on provides additional tools for both multidimensional and tabular data models in analysis services. The first feature that I'll demonstrate is how to create a printer-friendly view of my dimension usage. I've got my multidimensional model open in Visual Studio. I'll click the Dimension Usage tab, and then from the Dimension Usage tab I have an icon that was added by BIDS Helper that will allow me to generate a printer-friendly view. When I click the icon, I get a dialog that asks me what type of report I want. Do I want a detailed report or do I want a summary report? Yes if I want a detailed, no if I want a summary. In this case I'll click no, have it generate a summary report, and what I get back is this nice bus matrix for my sales cube. I can use this drop down at the top to export it to an Excel, a PDF, or Word document that I could use for further rendering or for printing. The next feature that I'll demonstrate goes with perspectives. I click the Perspectives tab. What I see that's automatically being generated for me by my BIDS Helper tool is a tri-state perspective. I see that there's a red box around one of my measure groups, in this case, that doesn't have all the members selected. If I check the boxes for the two that are omitted, in this case internet unit price and internet unit cost, I see that the red box goes away. So this makes it real easy for me to find maybe some members that I've added but I haven't added them into the various perspectives. Again, unchecking these boxes adds that tri-state or that third state, that red box around the particular measure group. The BIDS Helper also adds an icon to my Perspective tabs toolbar, and that icon allows me to deploy just the perspectives. So if I've made some change to only perspectives, instead of having to deploy the whole cube, I can click the Deploy Perspectives, and just the changes I've made to the various perspectives would then be deployed back up to my server. The next feature that I'm going to demonstrate goes with tabular data models. So I'm going to close my multidimensional model, not going to save any of my changes, and I'm going to open up pretty much the same model I had in multidimensional. I'm going to open up a tabular version of the model. One of the features that the BIDS Helper brings for tabular models is a tabular actions editor. And if I go to my Solution Explorer and right click my model file, I have a new menu option, which is a tabular actions editor that I can create new tabular actions for. Before I use the editor to create a new tabular action, let's see what the default behavior, drill through behavior, that's currently with my model. So I'm going to open up this model in Excel. I'll just add the internet revenue to my pivot table. And then if I double click on the internet revenue total, this provides me the drill through on a separate Excel tab, but I can see that I'm just getting all of the fields from the fact table, which isn't terribly useful. Most of these are just keys to the different dimension tables, and again, it's not very useful data, but that's the default behavior that I get out of the box with my drill through action. So I'm going to close Excel, not going to save anything, and I'm going to change that behavior. And to do this before, I would have had to have edited the model file manually, but with the BIDS Helper, I've got a GUI based tool. I can right click the model and choose this tabular actions editor, and we'll create a new tabular action by clicking the add button. We'll name this one Internet Details, and then the action type, I can do various action types: URL, HTML, statement, choose from my drop down. In this example though, I want to change the behavior of drill through, so I'll select the drill through. The target for my drill through is going to be my measure group internet sales. And then I can simply pick the table and columns that I want to display as a result of my drill through. In my case, I'll pick the customer table and the customer column. And I think I'll pick the order date. And then the column will be the date column. And then maybe I'll also pick the ship date and also the date column for that. And that's good enough for the demonstration. I can choose to make this the default, choose it true. I can also choose to deploy it to certain perspectives. I'll leave those unchecked for now. Click the OK. To test my change, I'll open up Excel again. Add my internet revenue to my pivot table. Double click it again to see what columns I get back from my drill through, and I can see that I'm only getting the columns from my default action. Close this. Well, that's it for this presentation. You can find out more about BIDS Helper by reading Megan's full blog post on her blog site. Hope you enjoyed.